So now that you've taken a look at the Modern Marvels video and started to learn a little bit more about the history of computers, and I'll try to put a recap video up to maybe hit some of the highlights of the computer history video. But we want to take what you learned and try to help with this Hall of Fame project. Um, Based on all the things that you learned in the video, I want you to try to hone in on one particular person or item that you think has made a significant contribution to the world of computers and technology. And if we had a Hall of Fame, they have a spot and they deserve to have a spot in the Computers Hall of Fame. What's on the screen now is also posted on Classroom, but I want to just walk you through it. Here's how this is going to work. Okay. In the previous assignment, all of you were assigned randomly to a category. If you must know, I opened up a spreadsheet, generated a random number between 1 and 100, and then sorted the list low to high, and then assigned. That's how you get assigned to a category. So here are the four categories: pioneers, machines and devices, processors, and milestones. If I say this here, pioneers are people. Right, so we'll focus that on notable people in the world and history of computers. Machines and devices is pretty self-explanatory. Processors, throughout the history video, they talked about processors, and we spent a lot of time there focusing on the actual CPU and the processor. Well, I'd like you to look at that. And then milestones is basically anything else that doesn't necessarily fit into pioneers, machines, and processors. Right. So anything else, it's fair game. Okay. So what I would like each student to do, so for the 4 or 5 of you who are in each category, I would like each of you to be able to propose one nominee for the Hall of Fame. So out of everything you saw, let's take the pioneers for a second. Out of all the names that you learned about and all the names you heard about in the video, which one do you think should be nominated for the Hall of Fame? I will say for all of these categories, you are not limited to only the names and things in the video. If there are other people or names or things that you knew about and you know about that you'd like to include, feel free, but you're not restricted to just what was in the video. But it's a good start. So I'm going to ask each of you to be able to put some information together to make your case for why this person should be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Okay. I am going to ask that, let's say, of the 4 or 5 of you who are in pioneers, I would like there to be 4 or 5 different nominees. So I am going to ask you all to maybe communicate with each other, talk a little bit. On the previous list, I did give you each other's email addresses if you'd like to use that, or what other method you'd like to come up with. But I'd like you to converse a little bit about this and try to not all nominate the same person or thing. Right? So I would like to see each student do a different nominee for the group, for the category. All right. So talk with each other and collaborate on that, and make sure that you all have different projects. Okay. Now, I'm going to ask you to do a little bit of research and compile some information about that nominee, and I want you to put it into a slide presentation. Okay, I'll show you that in a second. So for each nominee, I'd like you to tell me just a very brief biography. Tell me just a little bit about the category you have, and here are the things I'd like you to focus on in each category. All right, so maybe there's one slide that's going to talk a little bit. Again, we'll stick with pioneers. Who were they? What did they do? When did they live? Tell me a little bit of their backstory. Number 2, what was the significant contribution to the development of computers? So what did they do? What was the device? What have you? Number 3 talks a little bit about what do you think is the lasting impact of the computer, of the device that you're talking about, or the person. So if this person developed technology X, what has been the lasting effect on that, in your opinion or in reality? Because this person did X, this is the effect it's had. Okay. And then number 4 is make the compelling argument as to why you think they should be inducted. Right? Make the case. And number 5, I'd like you to cite some sources. Hopefully by now you've learned how to do a works cited page, how to cite a source. If you consulted anything other than Modern Marvels, if you do any other research outside of that video, which you're welcome to do, encouraged to do, I'd just like you to cite it. If you don't know how to cite things, you can consult these 2 links here, so you can learn a little bit about how to create a works cited page. Okay. Ultimately, make a convincing argument. Convince us that we should vote for your person or your thing. So at the end, we're going to have 4 or 5 different nominees in each category, and then I am going to compile together and put it out for a vote. And we're going to vote to see who we all think belongs in the category, or belongs in the Hall of Fame. All right. So this is what I want you to do, and here's how I'd like you to do it. Okay. So I have here a slide presentation. I have here a slide presentation, and in the slide presentation, I have a whole bunch of slides here. Okay. Now I've made a set of slides for each one of you. Okay. So what I'd like you to do is come into this slide deck, and we are all going to work on this presentation together. Or I'll say it this way: all of us are going to do all of our work in the same presentation. Okay. So I am going to ask you, if you look, there are all of these title slides here, and I'm going to ask you to find the one with your name in it. I did put them in alphabetical order. So if we just go to the first one, this is Jaden's sets of slides. Okay. Following the title slide, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slides. Okay. So Jaden is going to do all of his work in just these 5 slides. Okay. When Jaden gets to the next title slide, which is Nicole's, he's going to stop. And Nicole is only going to do her work on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slides. Okay, so it keeps repeating. The same 5 set of slides keeps happening over and over and over. You just scroll and find the one with your name on it, all right, and just work on your set. Okay, so I would like you to come into each slide, right? Let's change the name of the person that you're nominating. On the next slide, this is where you can put the biography. This is a picture, so you can replace this with a picture of the person or the thing. And I give you directions on how to do that. And you can put all the biographical information you want to include there. The next slide talks about significant contributions. So feel free to replace all of this text here with the details you want to tell us about their contributions and their lasting impact. And then ultimately, these are the very specific reasons as to why you believe they should be nominated. And then finally, you can replace all of this text with the works cited sites if you are you consulting anything else other than Modern Marvels. Okay. So everyone is going to be able to put their information into this slide deck. When this is all completed, I'll put some details on Classroom. I would like to have a live class with you and be able to just have you present a little bit, talk us through your presentation. So you should develop this as if you're going to present it to all of us. Okay. I am going to ask a couple of things. Number one, I really do need you to only work on your slides. Okay. Please only work on the 5 slides I gave you. Let's be respectful of each other and only work on your slides. Please don't touch other people's slides. Please don't disrupt other people's slides. Okay. If you feel the need to disrupt other people's slides, I'd like you to watch the video on slide number 1. You can take a look at that. All right. Number 2, please just don't copy and paste nonsense from a website. Okay. I'd like you to take a minute to learn, understand it, boil it down a little bit. And then in each of these slides, especially when we get to the contributions and lasting impact slides, only give us the key information. Okay. There shouldn't be paragraphs and paragraphs of text here. Boil it down. Clear, compact, concise is the best way to go. Okay. When you are done, when you've done your part, I would like you to go into Classroom and to just mark it as done, so I know that you've contributed. But I will see it here in the slide deck. Okay. This is an example. I'll give you an example of from a previous semester of a group that did some work here. So, so they picked a processor, the Intel 8080 processor. So here was their the picture of the processor and just some details about it. Significant contributions, couple of key points. Lasting impact, couple of key points. Here are the reasons why they thought they were deserving, and a properly cited works cited page. All right, so there are 5 slides. That's it, just to be able to get the point across. Okay. If you have any questions about this, please let me know. Throw some comments here in the chat. I will give you a couple of days on this to work. So this will be our assignment for at least 2 classes. And I will put all these details on Classroom for you, but I wanted to explain this project to you. Okay. So we're going to take all the things that we learned in the history video from Modern Marvels from the History Channel, and let's see if we can focus on someone who you believe has made the most significant impact on the world of computers and technology and who belongs here in the Hall of Fame.